Hey everyone, I hope you've all been doing well. I want to wish everyone out there a happy new year now that it's officially 2021. Oftentimes, the new year brings in a lot of excitement, a lot of goals and ambition, and this generally comes from the self-assessment that everyone does at the beginning of the new year. Maybe you've gained a little weight from quarantine. Excuse my personal weight gain, by the way. I know it's been a little while since I've made a video like this, but moving on. People are motivated to better themselves. I want to tell you all a story that I think could resonate with some of you. This is the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Like any other plant, growing a Chinese bamboo tree requires nurturing. It requires water, fertile soil, and sunshine. But where the Chinese bamboo tree differs is in the growth process. You see, it's not like any ordinary plant where you're able to see the progress visibly. In the first year, you see no signs of activity. In the second year, still no growth. Third and fourth, still nothing is showing. And finally, in the fifth year, we experience growth. The Chinese bamboo tree grows 80 feet in a matter of 6 weeks after the fifth year. Now, you might be wondering, how is this possible? Did the Chinese bamboo tree do nothing for 4 years only to grow exponentially in the fifth? Or was the little tree growing underground, developing a root system strong enough and complex enough to support its potential growth? I think a lot of people are more like Chinese bamboo trees than they know. Most people start the new year off focusing on their goals for a few days, maybe weeks or so. And you see, when you think of yourself as a Chinese bamboo tree, we need to nurture ourselves appropriately. How do you water yourself? Some people use actual water, some people use other things. What do you think is going to be better for you? Another aspect of the Chinese bamboo tree that can be related to growth is the soil. Healthy, fertile soil is going to facilitate more growth as opposed to toxic, unhealthy soil. I relate this to the environments we put ourselves in. Some of us are so comfortable with the environments we're currently in that we fail to see that it may be hindering our own personal growth. One thing I've learned is that moving away from your hometown or your parents' house will allow you to grow in ways you never would have imagined. You see, you can't really figure out who you want to be in the environment that produced the current version of yourself now that you're trying to outgrow. I love my parents, but sometimes your parents' house can be a comfort zone, and nothing is ever challenged in comfort. Growth is a patience game, and it can only be seen in retrospect. That's the challenge of growth. It's that sometimes you can't see it right away. I know for a fact that if some of you were to actually grow a Chinese bamboo tree, a handful of you would dig it up within the first couple of weeks or months to see if it was actually doing anything. In doing this, you would have stunted the bamboo tree's growth. You see, we live in a society that thrives off of instant gratification. We want things as soon as possible. We get frustrated if we have to wait more than a couple of minutes for service, or we expect to lose a bunch of weight in 2 weeks of exercising. We want things immediately. How do we solve our impatience when it comes to personal growth? The answer is simple, really. You have to have faith. What I mean by this is you need to believe that you're growing as a person even if you can't see it right away. You have to have confidence that what you're doing every day, whether it's exercising, reading, working on your own business, whatever it is, you have to believe in yourself that it's going to pay off. You have to have confidence. And the Latin root of confidence is confidentia, meaning to trust. You have to have confidence and trust in yourself that you are growing. I think social media has 20-year-olds thinking they should be extremely successful or married and possibly starting a family by now. I know that my dad jokingly says things like, you know, when I was your age, I was married and had you and your sister already. I love my dad, and I know that he's just stating this to motivate me, which it does. But I know that sometimes parents fail to realize the impact these kinds of statements have on their children. Some people hear that and think their parents are calling them a failure. We have to stop living by other people's expectations. We have to stop comparing ourselves to others because it's self-destructive. So if you're seeing this video, this is your reminder that growth isn't always immediate. People often overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 5 or 10 years. Think back to where you were 5 or 10 years ago. Look how far you've come. Growth is retrospective. Remember that, because you might just be a Chinese bamboo tree. That's all I got.